Happy Friday, Bills Mafia. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Forecast. I'm your host, Travis Blakesley. And joining me, as always, Canisius College's very own Mr. Herm the Buffalonian. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Buffalonian in the house, baby. Go Bills.
And today we have a very special guest, another downstate Bills Mafia lifer. We have our buddy here, Cody. How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing great. Friday night. Looking forward to the game, boys.
That's right.
Thank you for coming on. It's good to find fans down in enemy territory. We got to stick together. So for the uninitiated here on the Friday Night Forecast, we bring you our takes, predictions, outlooks, forecasts, what have you for the upcoming week. Obviously, this week is going to be the Houston Texans. We got a lot to jump into. But it's not all about us. We want to get your takes. So if you guys have any bold predictions, stat lines, anything regarding, prop bet, anything like that, drop it in the comments, and you get a chance to get your comments read on air. As always, please like, subscribe, and share. If you can't catch the live stream, you can always rewatch it on all of our social media platforms on the Cold Front Report. You can also find us on any major podcast service. Just search the Cold Front Report and you can pull up all of our content. We got a bunch of guys on the page and, always pumping out that content. But with all that out of the way, thoughts on the previous game? I think we finally got the performance we were looking for on offense. Defense kept holding up their bargain. Not much has changed on that front, but obviously it was the return of Josh Allen. Herm, I mean, I'm sure we're all in lockstep as far as how we feel, but, say your piece on Mr. $250,000+ man.
Million. Well, you remember that was one of my comments last week was the fact that if he improved or played up to his capability, we were going to win. I see Evan's comment down there. But he played, he was outstanding. And for me, it was the first time that the defense and the offense had played at a super high level in a while, not going back even to last season. So I'm elated, and I'm looking forward to hopefully we can maintain the momentum moving forward against Houston Sunday.
Very good. And I forgot to mention at the top, Evan, who has been here since day one, he is going to a bachelor party, so he wasn't able to join us. And Cody slid right into that spot. So on that note, Cody, what did you feel about Josh Allen's performance?
Well, I thought this week was totally a turnaround from the first 2 weeks there. It felt like they were trying to really push the ball down the field instead of taking some of those short passes. And they got Cole Beasley going, 11 receptions. If they take stuff though, they can get those short passes and he can get his confidence up. He turns into a different player. You can tell sometimes the crowd gets to him. I think that's just a personal opinion, but I think if he gets into a rhythm, he's as good as anybody in the league. And really, I think it starts there. From the first drive all the way to the end of the game, he was in control. And that's the biggest thing for him is just getting it going and staying there.
Yeah, and if he plays that way, just like Cindy Jackson said, we will crush the Texans. You're right. It's something that you pointed out where when Josh Allen gets in a rhythm early, you kind of know what game to expect. Although the first pass was through Devin Singletary's hand, but everything after that was money. I mean, there was probably two throws that you could question, but everything else, everything was right on target, making the right reads, finding the open man, and he was able to manipulate the pocket. I mean, there was pressure there. I mean, Cody Ford gave up, I think it was 12 pressures, and like 5 or 6 of them was on that first drive. But what you notice about Josh Allen is one guy is fine. He can manipulate the pocket. He can move around. And I like that he was stepping up in the pocket where I feel like specifically in the Steelers game, he was rolling out to his left. And he's okay doing that, but we all know when he stays in the pocket or he boots right, that's where his money plays are made. And it was just a stark contrast when looking at the two games, especially when you have TJ Watt, trying to tail you from behind, and that's what forced the fumble. So I really liked what he did in the pocket. I wasn't overly concerned about not seeing this type of performance. I knew it would come eventually. I know everybody has this, trauma about the Bills not being as good as we think they are. But under the Sean McDermott era, I think we can all start to let go of that PTSD, so to speak, because they're for real, and he's going to earn that contract. I fully believe it. We've seen him make all the throws. We know he can do it. Is he going to do it every week? No. I mean, not many do, and it's okay. He's still human. The next big point on offense for me was the coming out party for Emmanuel Sanders. It was great to see him heavily involved. Josh Allen targeted him a lot early on in the season, but they were only connecting at about a 50% rate. He caught everything thrown at him last week. Cody, just give us your thoughts on his performance.
Well, I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I mean, this is a guy, if you go back a couple of years, was catching, balls left and right, 1,000 yards with Trevor Siemian in Denver. So you can do it with whoever is at quarterback. I think it takes a little time to get on the same page with somebody, and these are guys that are first year. You could tell the chemistry is there. Whether it's on the field yet or not, it can be behind the scenes. This is a guy that also went to SMU with Cole Beasley. And if you follow any of these guys, kind of like on Buffalo Bills media or anything like that, they're always joking. The morale is always good. So I think it was just a matter of time and putting in the game time before these guys can really get on the same page. But, I mean, I think he's been a great addition and actually an upgrade over John Brown, which I was not really too sure was going to happen right away, being that he's 34, 35 years old now, but he's been a great addition.
His skill set definitely is better than John Brown. I think John Brown, he's a deep threat, and he overachieved here his first year, being able to run some of the underneath stuff. But Emmanuel Sanders is a guy who can run every route. He can play all three wide receiver positions. So I think he fits in this offense a little bit better. Herm, you got anything to add on the breaking out of Emmanuel Sanders last week?
No, I think Cody hit it right on the head. The camaraderie and the fact that even coming into, he wanted to be here in Buffalo, and those first two games, as you said, I think they were out of sync just a bit, but it takes some time to build up that rapport. But even his foundation he set up in Buffalo, as Cody said, going all the way back to his college days, but watching him in New Orleans and Denver, I felt he was definitely a great addition and an upgrade over John Brown, because John Brown, first of all, the fact that he missed the games because injuries, but his deep ball, that was basically about it, was the deep ball. And he takes a lot of pressure off of Diggs because, as I've commented a couple times in some of our past shows, Diggs is and has been Josh's security blanket. But now you have Sanders in there, and Cole Beasley is also in there. So we have Davis. I think we have a formidable set of receivers. And throw him in there with Knox, I think we're looking pretty good. I'm happy with him. That was a great addition for us.
For sure.
Yeah, and something that I wasn't planning on spending too much time on, but Dawson Knox. I mean, the guy's got, I think I was watching the Bruce exclusive, and he brought up his last 12 games, and he has a drop rate of 4%. So I think people can really put that notion to rest as long as he keeps going forward. And like I always bring up, this is a guy who's going to be your fourth, fifth option most of the times. So
and tough catches. Tough catches.
That touchdown.
He's money.
That touchdown catch. That touchdown catch was outstanding. Right?
Yeah, he looked like a ballerina.
Yeah. I mean, you knew that athleticism was there. He just, I don't know if it's a concentration thing. I know they said he went to tight end U, right, with Kittle and a couple of these guys in all season. So
right.
Stepped his game up for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. He I'm not in favor of paying big money to a tight end. It just really doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things, especially, you're going to get diminishing returns as far as value when you're only targeting, it's people talk about Kelsey, the Kittles. Their offense is built around those guys. Our offense is built around Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And, you're going to have to feed everybody, and not saying too much talent is a bad thing, but when you incorporate the salary cap, you really have to be conscious of that. But let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Week 2 against Miami, the front seven dominated, correct? Week 3, the back seven dominated. The key is that the linebacker role, I mean, they've been solid all year round, but I think what we saw week 3 was the secondary really nailing down the game plan, and Taylor Heineke really didn't have anywhere to go. Herm, what did you like? What did you like regarding the secondary last week?
Our safeties had the 2 picks,
best in the league.
I feel we have the best safety tandem in the league. They don't get the props that they should around the league, obviously with the All-Pro selections and things like that, but the secondary, I mean, they proved it. They sat there on both of those interceptions. As you said, Heineke had to move the pass rush. We didn't get to him, but they made him uncomfortable. He made the throws, and basically Poyer and Hyde, they sat there and picked those balls off, which put us in great positions to put some points up off of them. And Trey did his job with McLaurin. McLaurin had maybe 50, 60 yards of receiving yards. And that's who Heineke goes to in his game and a half, a game and 3/4, whatever he's had to play so far this year. But the secondary was outstanding, along with the linebackers. Milano is playing. He's been rated as the best linebacker in the league, and forget the ratings. It's the eye test. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. So the defense, that secondary was phenomenal.
Yeah, and Cynthia brings up a great question, which I was going to hold on for later on in the show. But since you brought up Poyer and Hyde, who's going to replace him? We all know. We'll get to the injury report, but he's not going to be playing. I believe Jaquan Johnson came out on the field for him when he went out. But we do have guys like DeMar Hamlin. We do have Thomas on the practice squad. Cody, do you see the same situation as last week? Do you think we'll see a little bit of both? What's your take on who's going to end up starting for Poyer? I assume Hyde's going to play. I know he showed up on the injury report, but what do you think specifically on Poyer, since we know he's not going to be available?
Yeah, I mean, Poyer's so underrated. He's so good. I think Jaquan Johnson's going to be there personally. This is kind of the litmus test with him. We lose Dean Marlowe, who I thought was very good depth there, but
yes,
we'll see. It'll be Jaquan. In my opinion, it'll be Jaquan, but I don't think. I think this is probably a game maybe where you're able to get away with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Assuming
if there was one.
Yeah, you don't want to say that, but
Right.
assuming that Taran Johnson is healthy enough. I know he's kind of nicked up. The Bills disguise stuff, and everybody's so, these guys are so fluid and being able to move around that I don't really think it's going to be a problem, but I see Jaquan Johnson filling in that spot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll get into the injuries specifically in the secondary in a little bit. But next on the docket, we spoke on him a little bit, Herm, Matt Milano. We got a lot of love for him for our guy Joey here. Congrats, because he's playing lights out. And that's apparently because he's balling out as well. So, yeah, Matt Milano, I know he's been graded as the best linebacker per PFF. But you can just see the way he plays. That dude, he's always been a playmaker. He's always around. There's some guys that are just magnets to the ball. It doesn't matter if it's interception, forced fumbled. When plays are to be had, this guy's always around the ball. He's always around the ball. And, he got a fumble recovery this week. He also had a great 4th down stop. he's just a stud. And I brought up a tweet that I've mentioned earlier is the fact that Poyer and Milano are combined for 0 Pro Bowls is a travesty. It's ridiculous. It's I get it.
Popularity
Milano
test.
Yeah, but it's true. But also your peers vote as well. So
true.
Milano was injured, so I kind of understand that. But even on some of the years where he didn't put a full season together, he still put up monster numbers. Herm, you already touched on him. Both players actually. Cody, why don't you just say a little piece about Matt Milano and how you think he has played overall?
I mean, Herm said it's the eye test. I mean, this is a guy that he just makes plays. He's as much as we might love Edmonds, we're still waiting to see those game-changing plays, right? Milano's always got a nose for the ball. The instincts are there. I mean, was it week 2 where he was all over the backfield, getting in, to the quarterback? I mean, the guy can play anywhere. He's great on tight ends. I mean, he's just. I'm not sure, what was he, a 5th round pick? I mean,
yeah,
that's the kind of pick that if you're a team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, you got to hit some of these late round picks, and he's just been awesome for the Bills. And we got him on. I didn't think he was going to come back, but we got him on a good
certainly
contract.
not him and Darrell Williams.
Right.
I didn't expect it was one or the other in my mind. And Bean, our guy Mookie, he calls Bean the burglar.
Yeah, right.
He's just robbing these contracts.
Yeah, you got to steal on that one. He came, on a better contract than I thought he would have.
And he wanted to come back. He wanted to be here. Yeah, he wanted to come
which was interesting because there was whispers, and agents put things out, but there was whispers that wasn't the case. That he wanted to get his money, and deservingly so. But it's good to see that. I don't believe in hometown discounts, but when you're cognitive about what you're trying to build and you see the bigger picture, it's great to see. You need that in the salary cap era, especially in football. We've seen Tom Brady do it a handful of times. You've seen Josh Allen, the structure of his contract. He's basically just, listen, this is what I should earn. However you want to get it to me, I don't care, just as long as we still have the talent around us. Rounding out the conversation of the previous game, thoughts on the O-line, Herm. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. How do you think they performed last week against that vaunted defensive front of Washington?
Well, as you said earlier, Cody Ford, he allowed some pressures. Josh had to move around a little bit more than we'd want to. But in a perfect world, obviously you like to have him sit in the pocket and just have 3-4 seconds to throw the ball, get rid of it, and go through his reads. But I think overall they've been improving. Okay, we look at the Steeler game, but that Steeler defense is that front four in Pittsburgh is in and of itself different. But Washington's front four was formidable, and they handled them pretty well. They kept them off Josh. We ran the ball fairly well, just enough to offset. The run game was enough just to keep them off balance, and we threw some screen passes, which anytime that you have a ferocious pass rush, one thing about Washington, they have 4 first-round draft picks on that front four, and they're not playing up to the expectation level that everybody had. I think they were number 2 defense in the league last year with those young. They have some young studs, but we did a pretty good job, and I think they're coming together as a unit and working better. Hopefully, with Houston, they'll continue solidifying it together. That's best I can say for them right about now.
Yeah. There's definitely work to be done, and there's plenty of time to kind of figure that out. I'm a firm believer that we will end up going heavy on the offensive interior this offseason via the draft, especially if some of these guys don't pan out. Next year is the year that you can kind of get out of the contract with Mitch Morse. we're not going to eat dead money. So it's interesting to see the dynamic that will hold later on. But Cody, how did you believe they performed against Washington?
Yeah, well, I think it was a massive step up from week 2, right? I mean, these guys, especially Darrell Williams, I mean, he was dreadful, They pretty much gave Josh a clean pocket here in week 3, and you saw what he did, 358 yards. I mean, I don't even know if he had a sack in the game. Did anybody have a sack? That vaulted line of Montez Sweat and Chase Young, I don't think they did anything. Really. I mean, we were able to run the ball as well. So if we can get that push and get that leverage, I mean, these guys, we can do anything on that side of the ball if those guys play well. And Dawkins, he's coming off a COVID scare. He lost some weight, so these guys got to round into form. Cody Ford, guy coming off a lot of injuries. Again, sometimes it just takes some time, and I think those guys really stepped it up. And I only see them going forward. I know, Feliciano with a concussion. We're gonna hit the injuries, but so he'll miss this week. But Ike Butker, I think, is more than capable if that's the person that it goes there. I think he will. He did fine last year. Last year I think he had 8 starts maybe. So yeah, I think we're okay there. I agree with Trav that the off season probably gonna do something interior, but for now, I think we can make it work.
Yeah, especially when you got 17 back there being able to find his way through a pressure here and there. I just think when it comes one guy, we're fine. When you get 2 guys off the edge or one coming from the edge and one coming interior, that's when we run into problems. But we're 22 minutes into the show. Let's move on from last week. We'll start off on the injury report. It's been quiet. We've been fortunate for the past 3-4 years. And this year started off the same. We didn't have any major injuries, knock on wood. This week it's a little bit not nothing to be scared about, but there are some notable guys who have already been declared out. We had obviously John Feliciano, like you mentioned, he'll be out with a concussion. He didn't practice Thursday or Friday, which is led to believe it probably happened in practice, probably Wednesday. You got Taran Johnson. This is the one that concerns me because it's kind of quiet. He went from limited to did not practice Thursday, and he didn't practice today, which tells me he's not playing because of how McDermott handles practice. You got to practice if you want to play. And that's something that you can kind of read into analytically. And that's, where, and I'm going to get into it. I know I keep saying that, but later on in the show this is like almost like it's not a preseason game, but what I mean is in the fact that we can kind of see what's going to happen when, if and when we have to have some of these backups play significant snaps. Right. But also we have F.A. Obata, who didn't practice Thursday. He's full participant today. And obviously Jordan Poyer's out. For Houston, the big news coming out is that Cunningham and Blacklock are on the COVID list. Cunningham is probably the most notable player on their defense. I don't think he's their best player on defense, but he's a guy who is a very rangy linebacker, so that's going to be tough. Danny Amendola will be out. He didn't practice all week. They got a backup running back, Terrence Mitchell, who is questionable. Or excuse me, DB. Their third string running back, Scotty Phillips, is out. And obviously Deshaun Watson won't be playing in this game.
Maybe again.
Not for the Texans.
Not for the Texans, right? That's for sure. So I don't think really, I'll be honest, half these guys on the Houston roster, outside of watching 3 of their games, I don't know much about them. So outside of Cunningham and, Danny Amendola is an aging vet. They're pretty clean, but there were some notables with Buffalo. So that's something to be look out for. Now getting into the actual opponents that we're facing, I'll just break down the rankings real quickly. The overall stats for the offense is 22.3 points per game. That's 19th in the league. They're 47.7% on third down regarding conversions, which is 6th in the league, which is surprising. That was the big one. Solid on third down. 314 yards per game, 24th in the league. 95 rushing yards per game, 22nd in the league. 220 pass yards, 24th in the league. So very bottom of the barrel regarding their offense, aside from the third down conversion. Moving on to their defense, they're giving up an average of 25.3 points a game, which is 18th. 385 yards per game, that's 23rd. 116 rushing, which is 18th, and 269 passing yards, which is 22nd. So clearly their record indicates how they're performing, and just breaking down those statistics and rankings, they're right about where you would think, which leads me into a question for you guys. Trap game with an audible, with a visual eye roll. Herm, do you buy into this theory, and do you think a Sean McDermott-led team could fall into said trap game?
Well, it was a concern of mine, just the fact that, first of all, we're a 17-point favorite in the game, which is in the NFL is an incredible spread, period. But I also saw another statistic that when the week before we played Kansas City, I think in the last 7 times we played them, we're 2-5. So my concern is the fact that, as we're talking about, when you use the phrase the bottom of the barrel, they're statistically, they are at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, they've rushed for 284 yards in 3 games as a team. We have the backup quarterback who's his QBR is 38.3, and he's 58% completion ratio. I'm a little bit shocked at the third down percentage. As you said, it's 6th in the league, but we can't take them for granted. I think Cody's familiar with this phrase I use, and it's something from having played sports. When you play riffraff, and some Cody knows this one. When you play riffraff, and I'm saying that in any sport, and having played many teams where we were the much better team, and in this particular instance, Buffalo, we're better. We're much better than Houston. You have to take control and get rid of riffraff early, or you give them the opportunity to build up confidence and think they can win. And if we come out as we rested our starters late in that game, but if we play as we did, we came out in that second half with that initial drive, which was about 8 minutes, and it was a perfect example of a football drive from my perspective. But if we can come out early, defensively and offensively, and just, all right, let's put this to rest that you have any opportunity to beat us, we should go ahead and win this game handily. So the trap game, yeah, it could be, but we have to go ahead and take care of business early. Lay the law down that, riffraff, you don't have an opportunity here today, and let's move on to the Kansas City game. But that's how I feel. I hate to use that expression, but no, I really don't.
But it's the
Coach,
right.
Coach says
riffraff,
you don't take them seriously, you're going to get your ass beat. Cody, I'm sure you share same sentiments as Herm. You got anything to add to that?
Well, listen, this is the NFL, right? So every game is going to be, you have to prepare for every game. Listen, the Bills want to be a Super Bowl team, or they see themselves as being at that caliber. This is a team you have to win. Personally, for me, this is a must-win game. You don't, it's week 4, right? But you lay a stinker down for the Steelers. That's an AFC loss. You lose another AFC game to a team that you should beat, and you're 1-2. Losing to the Steelers, that you just can't do that. You can't do it. I agree with Herman. Get on them quick, and just beat them the way you should. But I don't trap game. Sure, it's a bad team, and we're a good team, right? So you should win the game. So if you lose, everybody says that, but I don't think McDermott lets them fall into that trap, and I think we take care of business on Sunday.
Yeah, fair points. Moving on to their offense, I'm going to kind of group it together. So obviously you got the rookie, or the is he a rookie or is he second year player, Mills?
Yeah,
He's a first-year player. Yeah.
He's a rookie, right? Yeah. Okay, so you got the rookie, you got the what I like to call the backfield of misfit toys. They got all these has-beens, washed up running backs, collective of them. And then their one shining star is Brandon Cooks, who's been playing very, very well. Cody, pick your poison right there. Just give us, whether it's the quarterback, running backs, or wide receiver.
Oh man, I'll pick my poison. Yeah, Brandon Cook's a good player. 4.3 speed. Guy can play. Had a great year last year, but I'm assuming they're going to put Trey White on him. I don't think he's going to go out there and play with Miller or Connolly or any of these guys. So I assuming that they'll blanket him a little bit and they'll keep him in check. He might get some plays, but I don't see it being, some outrageous stat line. I think he'll get maybe 4 catches for 70. If I'll go a high number, maybe 65 or something like that. But as far as Davis Mills, 3rd round pick at Stanford. I don't know, redshirt freshman. I remember him a little bit. Nothing I really can, put a finger on. You see all the memes now. He's got this super long neck. You can see over the line, okay, right? I mean, but besides that,
I was waiting for that.
Hey, listen, I'll give him this though. They did last week. He had a short week, right? You only had 3-4 days to prepare for that Thursday night game. At least they're coming out. Cully's coming out saying he's going to give him the whole playbook this week. I don't think it's going to make a difference. Yeah, but listen, who knows?
There's a funny meme of him and his long neck, and it goes necks up, like spelled necks up.
I like that.
Yeah, and Cook's 31 targets. Everybody else is under 10. Everyone else on the team has less than 10 targets, 23 for 322 yards. So he's producing in this anemic offense. So I guess I'll leave the running backs to you, Herm. What you got on these old guys?
I like your assessment of misfit toys. Basically, including what Taran ran for when he was still there, they've run for 284 yards in 3 games total. They're running. The offense itself is anemic, as you said, outside of Cooks. And just to add to your thing on Cooks, he's leading the AFL in receiving yards and 3rd in the league with all of those targets. But just to piggyback on Cody, that I think Trey can take him out of the game, and then where you go from there. But that the collection of misfit toys, as you put it, there's Mark Ingram. I feel, as you said, they have some washed up running backs, and we should shut them down. And the quarterback, when you're talking about the meme earlier, as I'm doing a little research, I showed my wife his picture and told her about the comment about the neck. She goes, "He's like a giraffe."
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Joe got us the go gadget neck.
Pretty good.
I'll take you there.
So yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the run game. And
well, Herb,
if it was 2016, yeah, there you go, Cody.
Right out. Yeah, you got
that'd be a hell of a backfield.
Oh yeah, right. 5 years later, I mean,
I think they have Rex Berkman out there too, don't they? Is he buried on the roster somewhere?
Why not?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Hey, misfit toys, that's a good one.
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, and then the last guy I would like to bring up, who's technically on offense but special teamer, ex-Bill, Andre Roberts. Yeah. This is a guy that I really liked. I always liked Roberts. I didn't really like how fans would dog him for not getting a touchdown, because in that, specifically the first half of last year, he put us in great field position many times. He's got 2 muff punts. He's averaging like 2 yards a return on punts. McKenzie is by far and away outperforming Roberts, which is a pleasant surprise. Although situational football, Andre Roberts is probably always going to be better than McKenzie. That's where I think everyone gets super nervous about McKenzie. But yeah, I mean, do you think, Cody, do you think that he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder and he's going to be taking those balls 8 yards deep just to prove a point, kind of the way he did when we play the Jets?
Yeah, I do. I think, listen, I agree with you. I thought he was great in Buffalo. I never worried about him dropping a ball, especially not muffing a punt. So I'm very surprised to see that. He was pretty much automatic getting 25 yards. I mean, I didn't want to see him go. McKenzie's done well besides that one thing that happened last week. But, yeah, I think he's absolutely going to play with a chip on his shoulder. And listen, we haven't been very good on special teams, right? Yeah, so it's not – he's going to see that on tape. And, yeah, he's going to take the ball
hold on. Just to kind of argue that point, our punt team, I mean, we're giving up nothing. So – that I know we've had some blunders, but as far as our gunner play, the hang time on the punt, we've been doing well. So it's I wouldn't say that we're bad on special teams. It's just unfortunately there are a handful of plays that stick out.
Right. No, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't say that we're bad on special teams, but I don't think we've put together maybe. I guess what I'm saying is we've had a couple of game-changing plays on special teams that that we haven't. Not for us, it's been against us. So listen, I mean, he's gonna try to take the ball out, and he's a hell of a player, and he's somebody you got to watch for sure.
Herm, you still think he's got the juice?
Well, he's 5 punts this year for 13 yards and 2 fumbles, 1 loss. Terrible statistics, and especially after you left and you're down there, and I'm sure he wants, but this is a revenge game in his mind, and he's a competitor. So I agree with both of you guys that if he gets shots, because he was I loved him as a returner. So he was one of the players that we lost in the offseason that I was hoping we would be able to keep, but unfortunately, and he went to a much, much worse situation. So I mean, that's on him, but on a personal level, if he gets the opportunity, I'm sure he would love to. He would love to put it to us. But as you're talking about the special teams overall, the block punt for a touchdown, that kickoff last week. So, but for that big lead, because all of a sudden we went from 21-0, 21-7, and then a kickoff that didn't get caught, and it was caught. Actually. Recovered by the kicker, which was amazing that far downfield. It wasn't an onside kick, but so. But I'm hopeful if we get all 3 phases, because now we talked about the offense and the defense playing at a high level. Now we get the special teams, because you're right. We talked about the net on the punt returns, Travis. Right, our net has been very good. So. Now, if we just cut out the mistakes, I think we could be ready to blow some teams out and move forward. So,
yeah,
Roberts made a bad move, a bad decision, and he's playing like the team he's playing for to a degree.
Yeah, and drag him down.
And we don't know how don't know how it went down. Maybe he was asking for more money, or maybe the Bills potentially got ahead of this and saw the writing on the wall. We'll probably never know, because one Bills drive is buttoned up. Let's move on to some matchups. As always on the show, it doesn't matter if it's player versus player or unit versus a unit. Kind of break down, Herm, a matchup in this game that is intriguing to you, whether you think it's something we can expose or it's going to be a tough matchup for us.
Well, the first matchup that comes to mind to me is we've talked about Brandon Cooks is the leading receiver in the AFC. That to me is their most formidable weapon. But then on the other side of the coin, I think we have one of the most formidable cornerbacks in the league to defend him, as he did McLaurin last week. And I think Cody's right when he says that he will be the one that is expected to shadow and cover, take him out of the game, take Cooks out of the game, and then let's see where they go from there. Let's see what your second, your third, fourth options are, or let's see what Davis Mills, as he has his long neck, can look over the line and find something else. But that's
find the good leads up in the tree.
Yeah, that's the matchup that I think ultimately will determine how their offense goes. So I'm looking for Trey taking Brandon Cooks out of the game.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that shows up big on paper. Trey has been playing very well. I don't think he's gotten enough credit. I think he's an easy target because he falls right on that tier. He's tier 1 for sure, but he flirts with being a quote unquote lockdown corner or not, and people have their reservations, or it's just a highly divisive topic amongst Bills Mafia. And he's played well thus far. He's gone up against quality receivers, maybe not the best in the league, but some high quality receivers. And his stats go to show. Cody, hit us up with a matchup that you're looking forward to on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to piggyback on Herm there. Obviously, Brandon Cooks is the one that you have to watch, right? And Trey White being the matchup. Just 2 points on Trey White. When Stephon Gilmore was in Buffalo, he got dogged all the time. And then he went over another team and became Defensive Player of the Year. This guy's awesome. That was an interception against the Steelers. That would have been the game over. Soft call. That punch he had on Logan Thomas, awesome. He's been fantastic. But not to harp on that, I'm going to go with our defensive line versus their offensive line. David Culley's saying he's going to come in here, and they haven't been playing with leverage, and they're going to try to push us down the field with, the all-star class of 2016. And I want to see what Epinesa and Rousseau and some of these guys do. I feel like I want to see these guys take another step, and that's the matchup that I'm really looking forward to watching is these guys on defense, on the defensive line there really go after them.
Yeah, that was going to be my third because I thought you were going to go in the direction I'm about to go in. But for me, it's going to be the offensive line versus the defensive line of the Texans. This is a game where you have easily, far and away, the worst talent that we face thus far. So let's dominate the line of scrimmage. Let's establish the run. Let's play, like the way I'm sure you were thinking, the defensive line playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Let's get their guys moving backwards, regardless.
Right.
Show what we can do against lesser talent. I think this will be a great benchmark, a great point where we'll be able to truly evaluate what we have on this offensive line. Regardless, I think they're going to be good enough specifically because of Josh Allen, the style of his play. But I think we'll be able to get a good sense of what we're kind of dealing with going forward. There's been questions. I think it's really the unit that has, outside of Josh Allen, of course, has been a hot topic amongst the fans. So I'm looking for the Bills to really establish that line of scrimmage and keep Josh clean and open up those runs, those holes for our running backs, because apparently it's going to be raining. And, it'd be good to see like our friend Joey over here. Great viewer, Joey. We like you here. Give Moss a start. I agree. I got him on my fantasy team. He's flexed. He's my flex player. So let's get another 2 touchdown game for the young man. Which also our guy Jeremy, who here on the Cold Front Report, he actually produces Moss's show, Moss Mode. So all you guys out there, I think his first interview was with Josh Allen. So it's pretty good show. Go give that some support. Key to victory, gentlemen. Let's start on the offense. Herm, give us one key to victory.
Come on out the gate and just move the ball methodically. As I said, to me, that drive at the beginning of the second half last week was a perfect football drive to me, and it was to me. That's Buffalo Bills football, circa last year when we were rolling, and Josh had the confidence as I think Cody said. You could see his confidence building, and then that drive it just was 8, 11, 10, Beasley, Diggs, and touchdown. So if we come out and we can move the ball, as you said, with our line is facing probably the worst front four we've seen in Macy in a long time. So that's the key: is the offense to maintain that momentum and just come right out and punch him in the gut, and let's get this ball rolling.
Cody, give us a key to victory on the offense.
On the offense, well, I think the biggest thing is don't turn the ball over. There's nothing here to force. If Josh can just take what they give him, like Herm said, methodic, go down the field, run the ball. Singletary and Moss have been very good. The offensive line, get that push. Just chop them down early. I think you don't have to do anything too special here. This isn't the Kansas City Chiefs or one of these teams that you need that overall huge play to make it work. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give them, a reason to gain confidence. Hold on to the football. No fumbles. Singletary. I think that if you just limit mistakes, we'll come out with a victory.
Yeah, I mean that is something we've been taught since we started playing football. Can't turn the ball over. That's the most important thing above all else. For me, I'm going to go with something a little bit more in-depth regarding our game plan, specifically to the passing game. I think we need to go with a lot of zone beaters. We're playing a Lovie Smith run 4-3 cover 2 defense. It's all the man plays. It's all he'll ever play. They're going to line up. We're going to get that cover 2 shell. Brian Daboll is very good at designing schemes to beat certain coverages, especially when they're coming. So expect to see a lot more of Cole Beasley, like Herm likes to give me the credit for last week. I predicted that
yes, you did.
that big game by him. But for real, you seen him stop because he's a guy that can find the soft spot in the zone and just sit there. And I believe you're going to see a lot of that. That's what's going to beat cover 2, finding the guys in the flats, finding the guys off the corners, in between that deep safety and that squatting corner. So, yeah, so I look for them to obviously run the ball. I think especially with the weather, establishing the run is key. But when we are throwing the ball, look for those zone beaters. Let's go to the defensive side. Herm, what do you got for the keys to victory for the defense?
I'm gonna go with what Cody said earlier. Our defensive line matching up against their offensive line. It is Russo's. He's played well. He had a great game in that Miami game, but I think they have an opportunity here because if you put some pressure on Davis Mills and take the running back, as he also said, the 2016 All-Star team of running backs. But if the defensive line can play up to, with Oliver sitting there in the middle, he's played pretty well in the middle in terms of the run game. I have to give him credit on that. But
yes, he's had a good season.
Yeah, if the defensive line and with I call them our young studs, and Epenesa's put on some weight and some strength, and then Russo's playing very, very well. So if they can come out the gate and put some pressure on Davis Mills, stop that run game right there, it's going to alleviate a lot of pressure on the linebackers as well, frees them up to make plays, and then the secondary. So that's what I'm defensively. I'm looking forward to the defensive line to dominate. I would love to see them dominate.
Herm always coming with the wisdom and knowledge. I like it. Cody, key to victory for the defense.
I think I'm going to go kind of what I did with the offense here. Not letting up the big play. Like we talked about Brandon Cook so many times, but I mean, when you look at this offense, nobody else. Anthony Miller doesn't scare me. Conley doesn't scare me, and neither does David Johnson or Ingram or any of these guys. So I think
Philip
they'll
Lindsay.
try to Philip Lindsay, yeah, great. I mean the bottom really fell out on that one, right? Knock on wood. But I think they'll take a couple shots if they have to. What do they have to lose here?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? I think if you limit those big plays and if they try to just run the football or, I just don't think it's going to work for them. So it's just really on offense, like I said, you don't have to hit a home run. Don't turn the ball over. On defense, I think it's just don't let up that home run,
Yeah, you can really simplify the game of football to don't give up the ball, don't give up the big play, don't give up the ball. And it's true, especially
the
when
game
you're playing,
changes so quick,
Very much so.
Especially when you're playing a team that let's be honest, their only way to win is for us to make those mistakes. They can win. I mean, there's no team in the league. I mean, the margin from best to worst is small in the NFL,
and they won. I mean, they won that first game. Tyrod.
Tyrod, he played well.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. I actually wanted Tyrod to be in to have a reunion against his former team. So but I'm happy. I'll take Davis Mills. I'll take Davis Mills under the circumstances.
Yeah,
for sure. For me, the defense is going to come down to what I've been saying for the last 2 weeks. Pressure and confuse the young quarterback. It's the recipe for success regarding just about any rookie or first-year quarterback, second-year quarterback. If we can, and it's a shame that Poyer and Hyde are not going to be available, or one of the two at least is not going to be available. But I think if we continue to mix up our pre-snap reads, not really showing our hand, and whether it comes with the front four or we're blitzing, just get pressure and don't let him get comfortable. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row now, and I think we would have saw it week one if they just weren't, getting rid of the ball at such a short duration. It's really to me, I think it's going to be the key to victory for the Bills up against all these young quarterbacks that are on our slate. I mean, this defense is probably licking their chops. I know they don't look ahead, but they got a lot of young guys they're facing, and we face 4 in the same division. I mean, arguably all 6 of the divisional games, they're young and experienced quarterbacks. Right. So yeah, I look for them to get pressure early and often. Let's move on to our expectations. Your overall expectation, Herm, not necessarily win-loss, but what are you getting out of this game? What is something that you are expecting to see that doesn't really tie into what the overall score outcome may or may not be?
I expect us to continue building the momentum that it started in the Miami game. And then last week it continued in a really, really big way on both sides of the ball. So to me, we want to build momentum, but not look past this game, because both of you guys just hit it on the head. On any given Sunday, any team in the NFL has an opportunity if the other team has miscues or is just not on top of their game, or you're looking towards that Kansas City game 2 weeks from now. So I want us to build that momentum and keep it going, as we did kind of in the middle of the year last year when we went on that roll. And I think it's important. Okay, you're playing a team that Cody said it earlier, we should beat. I mean, you don't like to be cocky, but it's good to be cocky and a little bit arrogant. And in this particular instance, we should go out here and build that momentum, get rid of their confidence early, and that way also you have an opportunity to play some other players to give them more time on the field that they may not have gotten if the game were closer, as what happened in the end of the midway through the fourth quarter last week. So
great point.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Cody, what are your expectations? What do you expect to get out of this game?
I want to see, like I said earlier, if this team is vying for a Super Bowl, if we think that we're at that level, you really got to show it. You go out there on a performance. I mean, this is a team that you can dominate, can do it. Show us that you're at that level. But on a smaller scale, we touched on special teams, and I'd like to see a complete game. And that's winning on all three sides there, and that's it. Really, just putting together a complete game and finishing this one early. Like Herm said, if we can get some guys in there, some reserves in there, getting some playing time, that would be amazing. I don't want this to be a game in the fourth quarter where we're coming down to it and guys are nicked up and we're going to the Chiefs and Titans and we're trying to put together a backfield or a secondary, with all these guys nursing injuries. So put together a complete performance,
I would have to agree with everything
right.
both you gentlemen said. I mean, can't really argue with that. What I'm going to be looking forward, obviously, we're going to look to move on to 3-1. But for me, this is a time to kind of sit back and look on life after Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. It's going to happen. Their contracts aren't for a very long duration of time. I don't know if we're going to offer a contract extension to both of them outside. I believe they have 2 years on their contracts. I want to know what we have in the stable. We have young guys like DeMar Hamlin. We have Jaquan Johnson, Josh Thomas. These are young guys, and I'm really using this game to gauge if they are potential fits, or are we going to have to look elsewhere? Have they been groomed? Have Poyer and Hyde passed down the knowledge and the expertise of disguising coverage? Because that's the key. Hyde and Poyer are not amazing athletes, yet they don't get beat deep. This team does not get beat deep, and it's because of them. They can be on the line of scrimmage, and they bail half a second before the snap, and they're in fine coverage as if they were 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So whether or not Hyde plays, I'm really looking forward to seeing what our backup safeties bring to the table. And that goes for across the board. Use this game as an experimental type game. Put plays on film for Kansas City, plays that we haven't run, looks that we haven't given. So it's something that they have to add to, for game planning purposes. They're going to have to, they might expect something that we haven't shown on film yet. Just tease a little bit and just to kind of play a head game. So I think this game, and I don't know if the coaches actually go into, they're going into the game to try to win, but as a fan, I would hope that they would try to be strategic in those ways of, looking forward. I know they don't like to look ahead, but to me, I'm hoping to kind of be able to pull a little bit of that out of this game, which brings us to our game prediction. Herm, give us a score, give us an outcome.
35-10 Buffalo.
35-10.
35-10 Buffalo.
Cody, what do you got?
38-17.
38-17. So we're covering the spread, huh?
We're covering the spread, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't bet it, I said, but
no, I'm not gonna take
it. but I do. I'm with Cody. I believe we'll 17. I believe we'll cover it.
Yeah, Joey brings up a good point. I think we'll see two guys. I think we'll see Cam Lewis get brought up and Josh Thomas from the practice squad. For my prediction, I'm going 41-19.
I
don't care if it rains. I don't care if it rains. I don't care. We're gonna see a lot of field goals from that team. I think they'll be able to move the ball. I mean, listen, they're an NFL team.
Yeah.
There's garbage time. But anything less than your guys' prediction is I'm not going to say it's worrisome, but, play your game. You should be able to steamroll this team.
So you're going with that 22-point difference like last week, huh? Okay.
There we go. Yeah, I know. I should have went a little higher last week at least. So we'll get into the 5-day forecast. As everyone knows, it's a buy or sell segment, but we put our own little spin on it. It's going to be clear or cloudy. Is it going to be rainy or is it going to be sunny? there's no overcast. You better lean one side or the other. There's no in between. So let's get to Monday. Mitch Trubisky plays at least half of the fourth quarter. So at least 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Herm, what do you think?
You gave me the number, right? I say clear.
So we're going up big early.
Yeah. I think
Cody, what? Continue, Herm.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no. I think he'll get some time, and I think he had a net of 1 yard in the last game, so he didn't get to throw the ball. So I think he can build
more
yards.
Run. He had a good run.
He had a good run.
He had more yards
running than he did
than the offensive of Chicago.
Of Chicago, that's
right. He outperformed Chicago.
Oh yeah. I'm going clear.
Cody, what do you got?
What, him playing half of the fourth? Yeah. Clear skies.
Yep.
Clear skies.
Okay.
I see.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, I'm riding with you, Herm.
All right.
You know, and I got to agree, because if we're scoring 41 points, I mean,
yeah, they better if you hit your point right there, right?
Yeah, I expect to see quite a bit. I don't see him throwing the ball much, but I think they appreciate what Mitch brings to the team, and anytime they can get him on the field, they're going to do so, because they know he's not going to be here forever, and he's got to get some game on film so that he can go. To me, it's clear that he is a starter in the NFL. He's the Tyrod Taylor. He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to latch onto those teams that don't have a franchise quarterback, and they're looking for it. And I think his skill set is actually better than some of the guys I mentioned. So I'm going to go clear on that one. Let me bring up Evans. Evan believes that is clear as well. So I'm assuming Evan believes.
Well, you remember I said early on, I felt going back to the preseason with that Bear game that we have the best backup in the league. He took the Bears to the playoffs a couple of times, but
we have the second best quarterback in the AFC East. We have the first and second best quarterback. It's not even a stretch at this point.
I couldn't disagree with you on that one right about now. So hopefully
fans kicking themselves for not taking Herbert. Oh man.
Yeah, I've seen that online.
Yeah. Go trade for first round
Joey
picks
again with a
Sean.
Yeah, right. Jesus. Depending on how the first two quarters go and how many points they put up, they might see him in the third quarter. Joey, that is a bold prediction right there.
Joey, I hope that's the truth, Joey. I hope that happens.
Those are the games my wife will actually watch the whole game. Although last week she goes, "This is boring." I'm like, all right, when the game's close, you can't even watch. You're like in the bedroom. Mind you, she's from Brazil, like soccer capital of the world. And she's like, I can't watch the games. They're too intense. And I was like, but that's the point. But that's neither here nor there. Tuesday, Herm, at least 28 rushing attempts. Not by running back, by anybody.
Cloudy.
Okay. Even if it's raining?
We love the
Well, it doesn't matter. You can't change it.
Okay, cloudy. We love to throw the ball.
You're right. Cody, what do you think?
Sunny.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think we put them out in the first half there, and we just drag them through it in the second half. Just keep running down the throats. I see a big second half for everybody.
Okay, I would like that. I would like it.
Evan agrees with you, Herm. He's going cloudy with that one, and I am going to make it an even split. Cody, I'm with you. I think we're going to make our hay in the first half, and then we're gonna get the game over with. I think it'll be a short game. McDermott's a stand-up guy. Cully was our quarterbacks coach during the Tyrod era, so there's that connection there. He's good about not throwing dirt on former. You saw it kind of last week too, where they just shut it down pretty much.
Yeah.
I think he had a year
for
with
Rob-
Josh too, didn't he, Cully?
His rookie year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he did.
rookie
Yeah, I
year.
think he was here for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Wednesday. This is the parlay. So I'm going to lead you off, Cody, because you're quite the betting man. 4 sacks.
Tell my wife.
4 sacks and 2 turnovers forced by the Bills defense.
Yeah, bright and sunny. Yeah, I see it. I see. I'll go even bolder. I see a sack for Rousseau, Epinesa, and Oliver.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and I'll take a Trey White pick, one that you can't take away from him. And I'll go, you know what? It's time for a Tremaine Edmonds big play. So there you go. There's your second turnover.
Get the haters at bay.
Specific. I like this.
Oh yeah, I gotta go
specifics there.
bold. I'm going bold.
Okay.
You gotta speak it into existence, Cody, right?
Yeah.
Herm, what do you think? 4 sacks, 2 forced turnovers.
Clear. I said earlier, I think our defense is going to dominate on that front 4, and then hopefully the front 4 dominating. Edmonds can pick something up for you, Cody over there. Finally,
Yeah.
they call. We always hear about his stone hands.
Yeah.
So this time, I think if it hits him right in the gut when they're taking Davis Mills down, he can hold that one. So yeah, I'm going clear.
So
you're taking a lot of time here.
I want to be different. But it's
you don't want to be wrong.
I just don't. No, but that's the thing is when I think about it, I think the 2 turnovers are a given. It's going to happen the way this team is playing. And their offensive line isn't terrible for, the team that they are, but it's certainly not good. I thought Washington's offensive line was kind of underrated. They played well. They really did.
They did.
I'm going to go cloudy just to mix it up.
Okay. And
I'm by the way, the running I'm up by 1. I'm 12 for 20. You and Evan Herm are 11 for 20. So this might be your way to sneak back into it. I was 4 for 5 last week. All right.
I just have a feeling they're going to be behind there. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Trev.
No.
I just have a feeling that they're going to be coming from behind and trying to push the ball at the end of the game. And he's going to be holding on to the ball too long, and he's going to be putting it in spots where somebody can take it away from him. So that's why I see that.
I am most likely wrong. I will definitely.
That's right, and he's not as elusive as Heineke. Heineke escaped. You remember they had pressure. He escaped. So
yeah, you may move,
but you can't change your pick now.
No, I can't. I will. It's there. It's in. I've put it in the document. I'm not changing it. All right. Diggs scores 2 or more
give us
touchdowns.
Evan's pick.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Yeah, I want to see where that
he thinks it's going to happen. Clear. He's going clear.
Okay.
He's with you guys.
So those guys might get a neck up on you there, Trev.
I know. I may have opened the door. A
neck up. Okay.
Oh, we're staying with the pun.
You may have gotten a Mills up. You've gotten a Mills up on me.
Yeah, that's the theme of the night.
Yeah.
Diggs scores 2 or more touchdowns, Herm.
2 or more. 2 or more. You know what? I'm going clear. I like that connection. I'm going clear.
You do. And it's just a matter of time. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I think he's due. Clear. I agree with Herm. I think it's just he's got 1 through 3 games. I think they're going to try to get him the ball a little bit more than usual, I believe.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm going to go clear.
All right. I am going to vamp real quick because I'm checking the weather before I make this pick.
And you
had
the questions beforehand.
I told you I can't decide these things as they go. When I think them up in my head, I'm like, I know automatic. Actually, I try to be a little bit more. I try to figure out what I think and then push that envelope a little bit in each direction.
Okay.
So at first I was going to say Diggs was 100 yards because I thought that was going to be his breakout game. I was like, you know what? That's too easy. We're going to go with the touchdown number, which is hard because there's only so many passes that go around. So let me just dig in here. All right. So Sunday, 78% chance of rain, or 80% chance of rain. Cloudy.
Ooh.
He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it.
Cloudy
Zach
with
Moss
the
is
wet-
going for 2. Allen's going to rush one in, and he'll get one.
He went with the weather. How about Evan?
Going with his
Hey,
fantasy team.
it's a Friday night forecast, man. Why wouldn't I go with the weather? Evan went with cloudy. Or sorry, he went with clear. Excuse me. He thinks he's going to get it. So listen, the door is wide open for one of us.
3-1. Okay. All right.
All right. Bills score on defense or special teams. Herm.
Cloudy.
What do you think, Cody?
God, yeah, I hate agreeing with Herm on everything here. But, oh man, I was gonna go cloudy. I'm gonna go clear. I'll go clear. I think it's I think one of these picks goes. And it's gonna be Tremaine Edmonds.
6.
I'm gonna go out on a limb again.
I love it. I love that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go clear. But I think it's gonna be strip sack, fumble, and some fat guy is gonna run it in. Sam Adams-esque.
Oh yeah.
That was the greatest game of my youth. That 31-0 was fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, this is going to be definitely interesting next week.
And
like I said, cloudy. He's not a believer.
All right. So Evan's with me. Okay, Evan's with me.
Which is surprising because Evan is Mackenzie's biggest fan. So that's going to happen one day. And I believe the weather wasn't great when they played Miami last week, right? Or week 17.
What start? Oh yeah, last year.
Yeah.
That was
Took
cold.
one in the house.
It was cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in Buffalo,
Cloudy. It was a
Yeah.
Buffalo day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go through some of the chat. I think we got some that we can kind of force into questions. We'll start with Joey. Every receiver on the Bills will have a touchdown and tight ends and Moss, and we'll have two touchdowns. Joey, I don't know. I believe you're saying everyone on offense is going to have a touchdown, and I'm going to go cloudy with that one. I don't know about you, gentlemen. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I'm gonna go cloudy on that one. That one's pushing it a little bit, but hey, I would love it. But for Joey, I'm right with Joey. It would be a great day. It'd be fun for us to watch, but that's very bold.
Joey, he's not done yet, folks. This is his parlay of the week. 50-0, 5 sacks by the defense, a pick 6, and a fumble recovery. Where our outside of the score, me and Cody got that going on because the pick 6, you got Tremaine Edmonds, and then your fumble recovery is going to be strip sack. I don't know. Let's give it let's get Harrison Phillips activated. He can return that.
There you go. I like that one. Great community guy.
But
yeah.
I don't. Yeah. It's the 50-0 is where you lost me there, Joey.
Oh, Joey, that's great. Yo, Joey, I'm with you on the confidence there because I would love another shutout and put up a 50 burger on them too.
The season they would just fold up their tents and go home.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Trade Deshaun the next day, you lose 50-0.
Yeah. When we'll see Joey is going with the riffraff theory there.
Well, listen, I'll give you one more from Mr. Joey himself. 450 by Joshua. Okay, we're getting formal here.
Well, didn't Joey say that Trubisky might be in the third quarter?
Yeah. Well, 50-0. I mean,
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey. Josh is gonna have to have You're gonna have to have. Let's see, that's $1.50 a quarter. If he
I had that
gives
in the
three
first quarter
quarters,
last week.
yeah,
Well, now it all makes sense because he's
we're gonna
doing it.
kick their ass too. I like that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't want to look past the game. It doesn't matter. Like the one thing I hate is when fans are at every post. It's like you can't look past the team. It's like, yo, we're fans. We can do whatever the hell we. I know our underwear selection and our sock selection dictate the way the game is gonna go. Right, the left side of the sofa or the recliner. That obviously, but it's like, come on, we're allowed to look past. We're allowed to look at the schedule. But yeah, it hasn't really set in for me that we're going to go against Kansas City. And I don't know if and one quick question for you guys. Do you think it's beneficial to be playing Kansas City while they're down with the chance of them kind of turning it around and, playing with a chip on their shoulder because everyone's talking down against him? Or would you rather play them when they're soaring high and try to kind of maybe catch them off guard? What do you think, Herm?
Well, they play the Eagles this week. So the way the Eagles looked on Monday night, they look like their offense looks feeble. So I think Kansas City has an opportunity to build coming into our game, which I don't really like that, but it is what it is. So, and when you're talking about looking ahead, we got Kansas City and I think Tennessee the following week. And remember, Tennessee's been really hard on us with the run game, and Tannehill plays well against us. But so we have an opportunity if we win, we're 3-1, and then you're facing two games that tough teams. Kansas City.
You just wait until the Tennessee week. I'm gonna pull a little Joey Hatch Jr. out of me because I want us to wipe the floor with Tennessee. I cannot stand Tennessee.
So do I. So do I. I want us.
Last week sucked. Or sorry, last year against them sucked.
Year, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. And then Kansas City, that game was just they ran the ball. They ran for 246 yards.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, exactly. So so you're saying would I rather play them on the upswing? I think they have an opportunity tomorrow or Sunday to be on the upswing against Philadelphia, and then they go back home because we're in Kansas City, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah,
we're playing them there. So they're in Philadelphia Sunday, and that's like a snack. And then
you got the main course coming up.
Yeah, you got the main course coming in there, and they're going to be as hyped for that game as we are. That's right, because this is they have an opportunity. They've beaten us the championship game and in regular season, and they beat us the year before.
We had their number years prior, though. There was
we did.
We
did. But I've said to people they were the roadblock for us in the AFC, and so now we have an opportunity as we're moving on a week in advance here. We're getting, like you said, we can go beyond the game, but this is an opportunity for us to go out there and, as Cody said, if we want to be a team vying for the Super Bowl, hey, there's a barometer. There's your measuring stick right there.
Right.
And you get a chance to put another conference loss on them. Yeah, because you remember last year they got that home game.
They already got two, right?
Yeah, that's right. You get another chance to put another conference loss on them. And that was the difference last year.
Right, which is why it's a big deal that we make sure we get this win this week. Because I said, you lose one to Steelers, you don't want to be 2-2 with two conference losses.
No, not at all. Not at all. 17.
Yeah, so unless you guys have anything else to add regarding this upcoming week, I think we'll wrap it up. Cody, it was a pleasure. I'm sure we'll have you on again.
That
was
great, Cody.
It was a
Cody,
good time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And Herm, it's always fun to try to come up with some lead up to introduce you to. I'm on my drive home, like, how can I introduce Herm this week?
Well, last week it was the alto, right? With the
the alto sax himself.
He came over,
big
Cody,
saxy,
and I was. Well, what was that? Finishing up? Yeah, I played sax. Cody, you may not even know that I play saxophone, dude. Did I ever tell you?
No, I didn't. My wife plays sax too.
Oh, really, Ash? I didn't know that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he came by the house one day as I was finishing up a practice session. So
Alto or tenor?
a soprano, actually. He came by. I was
Oh, look at
playing
that!
soprano.
What do I know?
Yeah, the set. What you can play them all. It's just different
Yeah.
wind. But
Yeah.
I was playing soprano that day. So that's what I've been working on lately.
I'll have to see that.
Well,
Wait, at Radovich and Dean. The
Right,
music store right there. Yeah, that's where I had to get
Yeah.
my had to get some more reeds and change up my ligature on my mouthpiece. So so he called
Very
me.
exciting stuff.
I know, alto.
I'm sure the viewers right now are enthralled. I'm sure
He's
they're
going right
just
into
blown
his
away.
next podcast there. Musicals and reads.
Yeah,
we'll
right.
call
Well,
it.
I can play.
Join us in the brass next week.
Yeah.
I can play taps at the end of the game for.
There you go.
I'm in that pitch.
So, all right,
for the
folks.
other team, I hope.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Friday Night Forecast. Until next week, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Start this one off.